that is the ABJJ News.
Good morning, Texas. I'm Eliza, and this is
Jessica, and you're watching ABJJ News.
Today we have a lot of interesting news, so stay awake. Why don't you? Since March 1865, a gentleman's agreement precluded fighting between Union and Confederate forces on the Rio Grande. In spite of this agreement, Theodore H. Barrett, commanding forces at Brazos, Santiago, Texas, dispatched an expedition composed of 250 men of the Colored Infantry Regiment and 50 men of the Texas Cavalry Regiment under the command of David Branson to the mainland on May 11, 1865 to attack reported rebel outposts and camps. Prohibited by foul weather from crossing to Port Isabel as instructed, the expedition crossed to Boca Chica much later. At 2 a.m. on May 12th, the expedition force surrounded the rebel outpost at White Ranch, but found no one there. Exhausted, having been up most of the night, Francis secreted his command in a thicket and among weeds on the banks of the Rio Grande, and allowed his men to sleep. Night-night.
Around 8:30 a.m., people on the Mexican side of the river informed the rebels of the Federals' whereabouts. Branson prematurely led his men off to attack Confederate camps at Palmito Ranch. After much skirmishing along the way, the Federals attacked the camp and scattered the Confederate. Branson and his men remained at the site to feed themselves and horse, but at 3 p.m., a sizable Confederate forces appeared, influencing the Federals to retire to the White Ranch. He sent word of his figment to Barrett, who reinforced Branson at daybreak on the 13th with 200 men of the Indian Volunteer Infantry. The argument forces, now commanded by Barrett, started out toward Palmito Ranch, skirmishing most of the way.
At Palmito Ranch, they destroyed the rest of the supplies not torched the day before, and continued on. A few miles forth, they became involved in a sharp firefight. After the fighting stopped, Barrett led his force back to the bluff at Tolosa on the river where the men could prepare dinner and camp for the night. At 4 p.m., a large Confederate cavalry force commanded by John Ford approached, and the Federals formed a battle line. The rebels hammered the Union line with artillery to preclude an enemy flanking movement. Barrett ordered a retreat. The retreat was orderly, and the skirmishers held the rebels at their respective distance.
To Boca Chica at 8 p.m., the men embarked at 4 a.m. On the 14th, this was the last battle in the Civil War. Native Americans and Hispanic Americans were all involved in this fight. Many combatants reported that firing came from the Mexican shore and that some Imperial Mexican forces crossed the Rio Grande but didn't take part in the battle.
Wow, that was an intense fight.
At least it is in the last battle of the Civil War.
Well, you could say that again. Lucky for us, one of the other reporters got a quick footage of it. Take a look.
It's my turn. Oh, I'm killing my own people. No, I will win this for us. We will win this.
Footage, huh?
Sure was. In other news, there was a battle of Galveston before the Battle of Palmito Ranch.
We'll be back after this commercial with more information.
Twerk.
Other way.
Come on. Dance, come on.
Bloopers.
Twerk, Hey there.
John B. Magruder, who became the Confederate commander of military forces in Texas on November 29, 1862, gave the recapture of Galveston top priority. At 3 a.m., January 1st, 1863, 4 Confederate gunboats appeared, coming down the bay toward Galveston. Soon afterwards, the rebels commenced a land attack. The Union forces in Galveston were 3 companies of the Massachusetts Voluntary Infantry Regiments under the command of Isaac S. Brewer.
Thank you. Here's some more. The Confederate captured or killed all of them except for the regiment adjutant. They also took Harriet Lane by boarding her in 2 barks and a schooner, WB. Winshaw's flagship, USS Westfield, ran aground when trying to help Harriet Lane, and at 10 a.m., she was blown up to prevent her capture by the Confederates. Galveston was in Confederate hands again, although the Union blockade would limit confederates in and out of her harbor.
I feel bad for the fishes in that area of the ocean.
Okay. Me too.
If I throw this quarter,
We got some interesting photos here too. Very much for watching ABJJ News, and we'll see you next time. That was a reporter of ABJJ News.
ABJJ News.
Is the videotaper.